Welcome back, everyone. In the last episode, we got sweet revenge. And in this episode, we're going to explore where the offseason takes us. Including, we're going to look and see if there's a job on the coaching carousel that we might be interested in. Now, I will be honest, I've done a couple of rounds of this, and the most interesting and inviting job is actually the first one we're offered. So, it's with a heavy heart that I announce the miracle run that we had at UAB was a lot of fun. But we're going to move on to a new challenge in a new pasture. So I'd like to thank all my fans at UAB. But now we are going to accept the head coaching job at Auburn University. Now, how I'm going to break down a lot of this episode is we're just going to kind of explore what goes on in the league. So I just want to kind of sim to the end of the coaching carousel, and I might cut ahead, I might not. But we're just going to kind of show where a lot of interesting things related to us happened. So we took the head coaching job at Auburn. LSU fired their head coach as well, and they were not going to offer it to us. Trust me, I've gone through this a couple of times because I actually did want that job. But they hired Louisville's head coach. Tennessee. Tulsa. He moved up, or their head coach moved up as well to go take the head coaching job at Tennessee. Kentucky. Pulled the defensive coordinator away from University of Alabama. And UAB, they promoted our offensive coordinator, Scott Jenkins, so he got to take that job. So good for him. We also have a brand new offensive coordinator to work with us, and he came from, or he was the head coach for Tennessee. Oh, so that's pretty funny. Any other real notable ones that I want to look at? Hired a new... Our defensive coordinator went to take the head coaching job at Cincinnati. And our offensive coordinator went to take the offensive coordinator at Colorado. So, or no, sorry. Our offensive coordinator took the head coaching job. So never mind. So that was just really kind of all the interesting positions. Now I'm going to work through the offseason, and we're probably going to kind of cut in, cut out on just interesting things that I kind of want to talk about. So I will see you back when I see you back. Okay, so we're going to cut back here. Most of the offseason was pretty uneventful. We did learn a couple of things though, so we'll get into those because I'll actually do a bit of a recruiting preview on what we're going to do. I just want to redshirt a couple of people, including Shelton Cooper, who is a recruit by the previous administration. We'll keep him redshirted for now. I think he's the only one I really wanted to redshirt, but I just want to kind of go through and check everyone else, just in case. We'll keep him off of redshirt for now, just to have the depth, and we know we're going to have to work on there. Yeah, okay, so our line is older. So that's one of those things that we got to take into account is our previous administration didn't set us up in the best of spots in terms of our team. We have a lot of young, raw talent and a lot of really old leaders. So really where our opportunity is in developing. We have also, this was the thing that I was going to point out, our previous administration screwed us with a kicker. So we might not be doing a lot of kicking the ball, but we'll have to see. Yeah. So now we're going to set up our recruiting board, and I'm not going to cover recruiting as just like how I did last season. I'm not going to cover it week to week. Instead, we're going to do... the plan right now is to stay at Auburn. We'll see if they let me stay at Auburn. But we will do a check-in in our normal off-season video to go in and preview our recruiting class. So look forward to that in a season length. But now I'm just going to kind of fast forward as I go through and set up my recruiting board, and then I'll be back when we've got some recruits. Alright, so now we've got our whole recruiting board set up, and I've covered all of our team needs. Now we're just going to go through and do our scouting and see who's worth our time and who isn't. We have a lot of needs we have to address, and I really should have thrown a kicker on here. But we can afford to wait a little bit on a kicker anyway, so that's not as critical. You are a bust, so we're not even interested in talking. So pull that defensive tackle off the board. We do have some really interesting people who are very interested in playing for the Auburn Tigers. So it's one of those, we got some good things. We just need to bring them in. And that's going to be the important part. Including the number one wide receiver, or not wide receiver, the number one tackle and the number one tackle, the number one center, who we're going to put at the top of our list. Linemen are crucial. And the number one running back, who you'll see a little later in the episode. I will do a preview of our offense, but our running back stable is fairly old. I believe we have 3 seniors, so that's something that we need to take into account. Here, just what I'm doing, and everyone has a different way they do recruiting. I've got my people that I just will routinely focus on, and they will be the ones who get all of my points. Number one, or not number one wide receiver, but we do want to move this wide receiver up to about there, just in terms of our importance. And then everyone else that we get on top of this would be fantastic. So that's how my recruiting board is going to be set up. So fingers crossed we get some big wins, and I have to start informing you guys on if we get any big landings, because I'll get to start saying when recruits visit and things of that nature. We've already done our red shirt. I'm going to cover the depth chart as a piece to end this video as a little preview. Last thing I really need to do is I need to really work on our schedule. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take Duke off of our schedule, because I want to put a very special team on there. You had to have seen this coming. We're going to do a rematch with UAB. So that's going to be fun. And then I want to play Boston College. And we'll play at a neutral site if it lets me. Just because I'd like to play neutral site. Yeah, we can get a Cowboys kickoff game. So we'll play in Cowboy Stadium as a neutral kickoff. And then most of the rest of this schedule will leave as it is. We get one ranked team to kind of start, and then you're going to see we go through a pretty... I'd like to keep that open, actually. We go through a pretty intense schedule. We have ranked teams such as Texas A&M. We have to go between the hedges. And then we have the Iron Bowl, where this year we get to host. But that's after we go to Death Valley. So this is going to be a fun schedule. And now, as promised, here is an offensive preview that I'm going to put together for you. Kind of detailing what we're capable of and what we can do. And leading our offense from the quarterback position is none other than Mike Finley. Last year he had a quarterback rating of 110.6, 162 completions on 350 passing attempts, 2,299 passing yards through 20 passing touchdowns and 17 interceptions. He was an effective force on the ground as well, and we really need him to step up and limit the turnovers if we need him to lead this offense in the right direction. Next is our star running back, Andrew DeAngelis. He's a redshirt senior, and last year he had over 1,000 yards rushing, 1,076 yards to be exact, but he was a little lacking in the touchdown department, only getting 4 total touchdowns. So we need him to step up and be an effective force on the ground. Our number 1 wide receiver is none other than Rocky Lee. He didn't have a big effect on the field last year, but we really need him to step up into that star receiver role. He only had 6 receptions for 122 yards, so hopefully we can get him a little bit more involved and balance out this offense. And then lastly, on the defensive side of the field, we're looking at Kevin Neal, our star cornerback. We really need him to be a lockdown corner and take out other teams' first wide receiver. He didn't play much last year, but he did have 5 tackles and 4 pass deflections. But I have true confidence that he will be capable of putting himself on an island and being effective. So, just to give you an idea, our center got 2nd team All-NCAA for a preseason All-American. And then for our conference, he was 1st team All-Conference, which was very nice. And then I believe we got one more. No, we didn't. I thought we got 2. So no, our center is definitely the more celebrated talent on the team, but that's not going to stop some of our guys from having some big seasons, or at least we would definitely hope so. Let's see how we're predicted to finish in the conference. We're predicted to finish 4th behind Arkansas. That kind of hurts. Texas A&M and Alabama, and we are not ranked. And then the only other thing that I wanted to look at was, I gotta do my recruiting, but I'll do that off screen. There was something else I wanted to look at, but I am lapsing on what it is. So I think we're going to end it off here. In the next episode, we are going to take on a very familiar opponent, and we will travel to Birmingham and take on the Conference USA champions, the UAB Blazers. So, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you back here when we start Season 2.